Alright, hope everybody's having a great Sunday night. I was going to make a video earlier, but sometimes it's not about the getting or the not getting. It's, just about baseball and sports in general. And I got a couple of things to show here. And first off, we'll show the two pictures that I found at the bins today. The bins were not great, but I found this in a frame here. And I was like, well, that guy looks kind of interesting. So I thought, well, maybe I'll grab that, but I don't need the frame. And a friend of mine looked up who this was on his phone. He was able to do like a face recognition or something like that. And I slipped it out and found this picture behind there. And this is none other than Jefferson or Jeff Richards. And Jeff Richards is actually, I think, a movie actor, a Western actor. He played in something called Jefferson Drum or something like that. And then also, he was a baseball player for the Portland Beavers, and he played in something called the Major League or something. Don't quote me on that title there, but he played in some sort of baseball movie. So that's really pretty cool. He's a minor celebrity, and I don't think he's alive, but it's cool to get those pictures. And I had written down Jefferson Richards on the back of the one of them. The other thing I have here is a movie I watched with Matthew Lillard and Dean Cain called Home Run Showdown. It's all about the kids that wanted to go to like the home run derby or whatever. The guys that usually don't make it, or the old guys, you know what I mean, or the guys are hitting the home runs, that's all they do, and then the kids are in the back fielding the home runs and stuff like that. And Dean Cain and Matthew Lillard played brothers, and of course they don't look like brothers. In fact, they don't even look like they were adopted. So I don't know, it was brother versus brother. It was really pretty lame. Barry Bostwick was in there. He played the dad, and nobody was really all that great. And the kids were more or less okay. But the story with this kid here was pretty ridiculous, I don't know. So it's about as good as the Bad News Bears remake, and that's a pretty good review because both of those movies were just anyway. The reason why I have a Ferris Fane baseball card here and the Orioles in the background here. Longtime resident and a longtime card shop owner, Headley v. Bill Clues, we know him as Bill, owner of the New Hobby. The previous owner of the New Hobby died. It does not say how old he was here, but he was a huge Orioles fan, huge. I mean, he had the grossest looking Orioles hat sometimes, but he had been in that location for 21 years, and basically he bought the shop from another card shop that had been there for another 5 years or so, and that shop is still running with a young man and some younger staff there, and he's kind of a fixture in Salem, pretty neat dude. And we'd always joke about, the cards I'd be grabbing for TTM, and he said, well, how about Ferris Fane? I always had to remind him that Ferris Fane has since deceased, and I wasn't able to get him, and so he would just always pick names, just very unusual names. Why don't you write to this guy? Or, he would always correct me on my pronunciation. But both of us were probably wrong, and so it was kind of disappointing to see that in the newspaper. But it says here, and this guy was a military, he was like a long-time military, but he says he was the owner and purveyor of the New Hobby sports collector's shop for more than 21 years before selling it and fully retiring. He originally was transferred to Salem in 1989 after having been stationed in Upper New York State. But he was a huge Redskins and Orioles fan, and his family got him to switch to the Mariners and maybe the Ravens and stuff like that. And I guess he was First Sergeant Clues, had a long career in the Army, beginning with a shift to active duty and missing too many training drills in the reserves. But he was not subjected to the horrors of war, but after serving infantry, his talents were eventually utilized in recruiting. I want to say he was in his 70s. That would be my guess, but he didn't really take care of himself after his wife passed away, I think, is what I was told. But you know the stories of the old card shops that are filled with smoke. That was his shop for the longest time, and then he started smoking outside. I don't know how long he started smoking outside, but and I don't remember ever seeing him smoking inside. Maybe he always smoked outside, but it did smell like smoke, and probably there were a couple yellow top loaders. But, and his prices weren't always that great, but, always giving people a fair deal, and sometimes he would sell a whole box to somebody. It's like, oh, darn, that box has gone rats, because I'd be buying them at $1 a card or 50 cents a card or whatever. And this is where I got some of my earliest golf cards and a few golf mems. He always had like a glass case, on the table that had like lots of $5 mem cards in there. They were worth probably $3 to $6, but still, you wanted to support your local LCS and buy a few things there. And of course, in the small shops never like you to use your credit card, but and he had lots of packs. He always, for the longest time, started that 3 for $1 junk wax thing, and there was nothing great in there, but now that's all gone now because everybody's wiped that out, and the new store started that, and that's an empty bin now. So he'll be greatly missed by everybody who collected cards, and people keep going in the shop and saying, "Where's Bill?" And they don't realize that the owner has changed hands, and so, unfortunately, I was greeted that when I came home after my trip. So, you can look that up online, the Statesman Journal, Headley v. Bill Clues, and that's all I have for you. And I hope you enjoyed that, and here's to you, Bill.